It is 7:12 on Wednesday, May 10th. I'll call to order the Conservation Commission meeting. I'm Andy Fulton. To my left, Steve Major. To my right, Bill Bolton. That's three of our four members, so we have a quorum and we're ready to do some business. We have a few guests in the audience, and as is our tradition, we'll ask a representative to come right up to the podium, walk us through the item you have before us. I think we do have a plan here, but Art, take it away.
Okay. Well, we submitted a subdivision plan to the planning board. Property is on Perkins Pond Road. Consists of approximately 38 acres. And the proposal, it's vacant land. The proposal is to subdivide that into 4 lots. 3 lots with 250 feet of frontage, and 1 lot with 71.29. And 71.29 lot is 11.8 acres, so it meets the regulations, 50 feet of frontage and 10 acres. And the other lots are 8 acres, 8.15, and 10 acres, so we're creating good-sized lots. The wetlands have been flagged. You can see that they go through the middle of the property, or not through the, well, they bisect the lots, but it's behind all the building sites. And then there's some dry land behind that, behind the wetlands, which abuts the town land back there. And, it's right near Perkins Pond, to the south of Perkins Pond.
As this is designed, is there any, well, I guess we go to intent, but is there any possibility of using the building envelope on the back of those lots, or that is not possible without coming before us to talk about that?
Correct. Yeah, they would have to cross wetlands to get to that. I don't anticipate any. All the building sites are really up front. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you'd have some really long driveways. And the land back there is pretty rough. It's, I don't know if you've ever been back, how far you've been back on the town land back there, but it's rugged land. And up where that little, where it says 77D up to the right of the property there, there's ledges and all kinds of stuff up there. So you'd have to cross 2 wetlands to get to that area.
I can't recall what piece of town land is up there. I remember we went up there years ago and walked around somebody else's property. Is that with some old mine or something way up in there?
I'm not sure.
Outside. Might be thinking somewhere else. Then there was another guy on 7. Before he actually sells some land. Which map was that?
410. Art, this can be simply done without wetlands impact, it looks?
Yes. There's only one little wetland.
Yeah.
We located another little wetland. I don't have it on this plan, but Tom Carr found another small one right up in the front of the lot.
That's great. Yeah, we do
57 too.
You have Tom's wetlands, certified wetland scientist stamp here, so that's great. You got the buffer shown. That's really helpful. Just curious, any cellar holes out there? I see stone walls, but any?
You guys seen?
I have not.
They've seen more of the land than I have.
Not, no.
And your name's?
John Clark.
Yeah, sorry, I was gonna. I should have been.
And Jen, did you get their names? We got that. Good. All right.
Do you have to mark on the plan that is Perkins one of the what do you call that wetland?
Is it a prime wetland?
Yeah, I think Perkins is one.
Prime wetland?
Yeah, it's not a prime wetland.
Plus the south end of Lake Forest, the Forest Marsh. Those are the 2, I think.
Yeah. So whatever implications that has, like, we don't really run across it very often.
prime wetland. I think we can check.
Probably pull that up.
Those listed at the state? I don't even know.
Yeah, I can pull it up right now. I'm 99% sure it is.
Yeah, probably, I'll bet
Let me-
it is.
And Perkins Pond Road, is that a class 5 road?
Class 5, yep, says it right underneath, class 5 paved.
Oh, yeah. That's fine. Thank you. Take a look at that and dive into our GIS.
Let's see. Prime wetlands and area. So how did they mark it on? That's Horace, right? So that's it, isn't it? Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is a prime wetland.
Yeah.
So it looks like.
What's the standoff distance if you're within, remember what
I have no idea.
the number is?
Let's see. Alright, so you're within the prime wetland, 100-foot prime wetland buffer. So do you have that shown?
Nope.
So that'd probably be a comment. There's a 100-foot prime wetland buffer. See if that,
So the elevation, does it sort of rise to the back of the property and then crest and go down to Perkins, do you guys know?
I think it just rises.
Yeah.
It's a gentle rise up to about half, 3/4 of the way up. On the right-hand side, actually, it's a fairly flat area in there. We'll go over towards Perkins Pond. You can
Okay.
You can see, you can see the elevations, I think.
Yeah, well, you're saying it rises to the back, it really,
When you get-
it's
when you
north
get
and
up-
south where it's,
Once you pass that,
Okay.
the rest of the property, I mean, it jumps.
yeah, then it, yeah.
I mean,
from-
some of it's like
Mhm.
this.
Well, I guess what my point is, there isn't, it's not as though the back of these lots slope down to the pond.
No.
They
No.
slope up
Right.
before the grade starts falling off.
You could, yeah, it keeps, even after our property stops.
It keeps
the whole
going up for a
property
little
keeps on climbing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Steve, I don't even recall what
Yeah,
this
there's all
one's
kinds of
called.
rules involved with that.
There's a piece immediately behind us that the town owns, I think it's about 18 acres. Or 12 acres, what is that?
Mm.
But it's out in the middle of, it's out in the middle of nowhere with, it's just a piece of land that sits out in the middle there, it looks like it's
Mhm.
landlocked. Because I think the Pinard land is on the other side of that, isn't it?
Yeah, but I was looking at the plan, the Pinard plan, I don't think he goes all the way out to the town line.
Oh, yeah.
No. I'm gonna look, I'm gonna check that out, but, I don't think he does.
Yeah, that's curious, I don't know
So
where,
he may not.
I don't
be-
know where, right off what that land is.
I'm not sure he's really in a butter. I guess it's
Who?
a Pinard.
Oh.
The tax map shows him as an abutter, but I don't.
Yeah, right in the corner there.
Well, that's because of the tax map, but I was looking at the plan, the Pinard plan, and I don't believe that his property goes that far out. So I think maybe the town of Weare owns where I showed to Pinard. I just found that out kind of today.
So Art, there's a hole under part E&V -WT 703, like a, looks like this is kind of a permit process. It'll be in or adjacent to a prime wetland, and you go look at, that's just a lot to look at there, you have to. Click on that.
We're 100 feet away from that, aren't we? Or-
Well, no, somebody, no. The,
Well, subdivision's in it, right? Well, aren't you actually?
I mean, this is part of, it's a good question. What do you call, where's the actual limit of the prime wetland? The water? You know, the water.
That's what I was thinking.
The water's fairly close here. Well, it's not that close.
They have it on a map, actually. I'm not sure
How
how
accurate.
definitive that is,
Yeah,
but there's a,
On the site.
yeah.
I'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
Other than that, we'll make a note that there is a 100-foot buffer from it.
So where is the
Yeah, portrait.
actual, I mean, that wetland edge would be the prime wetland, right? The beginning, then 100-foot buffer.
Fishing game.
Yeah, which would go on to lot
Two.
57-3.
Yeah. Triangles.
I'm sure there's part of that that's buffered on
Oh, so like,
This is town.
where it says 77D, what is that? That looks kind of flat. Is that water?
there. Where?
No, that, you
What's
just
that?
didn't put the contour in back there.
Oh,
Yeah, there's no, I wasn't gonna waste the time.
oh, I thought that was water.
No,
there,
the
okay.
water's actually.
No, the water's here, yeah.
Yeah.
The water, well, you can see, this is, the water thing actually comes in, now, this is marsh. That's why I'm asking, I don't know whether the water, whether it's the prime wetland, the water or not. But it's probably out here. Well, at some point, it's real close, I just walked this actually today.
Well, they counted this though. Look, I'll show you the map. I think that might actually all count. Which then you get a bigger problem.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Let's take a peek.
yeah.
That's what it is.
That's hard to believe because there's no wetland. I mean, it's wetland, but
It's pretty expansive. So this is all DES is showing us this whole thing. Is that it up into there? This whole thing? I mean, they really expanded this right up to, that's what, 149? We see you on that side of it
Zoom
right
up
there?
again.
no.
I'm having a hard time where we're
I think
oriented.
they are.
See you out of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
South of that.
Yeah, that's 149. Where's the dam?
Yeah.
The dam is right there where the S is.
Yeah, okay.
So it only goes to the wet is there. So, that wetland goes all the way up through, if you follow my fingers straight down.
I don't know how you guys relate to that, if you're within, I wonder if
That's probably the
that's
notch here,
considered
Steve.
it.
See the notch that drops down in?
Yeah, that's a little notch, and I have that located. So it's pretty much probably whatever the elevation of the dam is the prime wetland.
Isn't that kind of silly? The damn wetland is a prime wetland. Glad I had nothing to do with that.
Well, whatever.
It's a weird one, to
Yeah.
have a modified wetland like that.
I think it's a fairly close approximation that they have that showing going right across the property boundary.
So it
So you
is,
can assume the prime wetland boundary is at the property boundary, or a very close approximation to it.
Yeah, it's not that close. I mean, you can see the water, but it's not. What I'll probably do is go measure from each of those points there to the water, and I'm going to say it's an approximate. I'm not going to try and go exact, but I'd like somebody ought to know about where it is and what's going on.
yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if you call DES and get the coordinates for them, or do you just delineate off the edge of the jurisdictional wetland? Because, that seems pretty big, that polygon they have there.
Well, they actually have, don't they? It's bigger than the water there. That crosshatched area.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it seems big, so I don't know how that works. For some reason, someone just dragged a polygon.
They probably just drew a line around it.
Yeah.
You actually have to go out there and locate. If somebody's gonna try to build that close to it, I guess,
Yeah.
then you really have to get down to brass tacks and.
But I wonder if just the subdivision being in that counts as part of the project.
What do you mean counts as a project?
Well, they've got rules about, I'm just looking at the RSA, you figure it out. I'm not gonna figure it out for you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But there's a whole bunch of, ENVWS 703 or whatever it was, bunch of rules in there.
So I think it's clear to say that some of lot, is it 5, no, is that soil, there's a,
57.3 is the lot you're talking
there we
about.
go. some of that is within the 100-foot prime wetlands buffer.
I would say it probably is.
Yeah, I mean, for our comments, all we really need to say is within the, I mean, the lot of record right now is the, whatever the original lot here is, and just, you gotta put that on the plan.
So we have a
Yeah.
state law, RSA 482-A:15 that applies.
Yeah. And then we get the environmental rules.
And then from that, the rules ENV-WT 700. So you have to check off those with the folks at DES. And just, if we can, let's try to see what sort of implications that has. So 701 is criteria and evaluation, 702 is submission, that's on the front end of designating, it's already been done. Then there's 703, permit process, 704 notification, permit and appeal.
Is that if you're working in it? Well, you probably can't work in it, it's a buffer. Right?
So just for background here, this is something that apparently was already done. The municipality or its agent prepares a report which shall correlate each prime wetland by name or number to a map or maps, describe the methodology used, and present the specific evaluation data for each wetland. So they're probably, designation falls on a lot is what this looks like it says here. The department, this is DES, shall review an application indicating that a project will be in or adjacent to a prime wetland to be sure that there's clear and convincing evidence that there will be no significant net loss of wetland values. Project is consistent with the purpose specified in the state law. The project could not be relocated to avoid impacts on prime wetlands without either reducing the public value of the project or negatively affecting the public health or safety. You need to show the project's impact on prime wetlands are the minimum practical without either reducing the public value of the project or negatively affecting the public health or safety. If there's loss of wetland function, it has to be appropriate and practicable compensatory mitigations.
Well, I think the point is we don't know what anybody's gonna do here yet,
Mm-hmm.
but what we need to do is make them aware of it. So what we need to do is certainly approximate that or show the buffer line and make a note that they need to follow the state rules.
So these are big enough so you just subdivide them and sell them, and then, so we're not looking at effluent disposal areas or any of that stuff?
No, I show some.
I mean, you don't have to do any soils work or anything?
No.
Yeah.
No, because they're over 5 acres, but
Alright.
there's lots of room on these lots. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why they're big, they're 8.
Yeah.
You know, that one's almost a 12-acre lot, so. And the building site's gonna be right on top of that knoll, probably.
So,
At that 680.
yeah, we would definitely recommend to the planning board that there be a note there explaining the encumbrance, so within that 100-foot, I guess even shown on the plan, there ought to be an ability to show where that 100-foot buffer off the prime wetland is.
Yeah, there's really no reason to.
And then it's
You go in there.
designated on a plan,
Yeah.
and like you say, there's no reason to go there.
No, yeah, I
And-
mean,
There's
and,
so much room, there's no reason to go anywhere near it.
The
Really.
planning board can work with that, and then when it comes to build out the, code enforcement.
the main
have
thing
a
is,
plan
yeah,
that designates, oh yeah, we're not putting the building over here.
Yep.
But even beyond that though, the Wetlands Bureau within Department of Environmental Services has to be notified
mhm.
when development is
Yeah.
anticipated. When build out is anticipated, and the subsequent owner needs to know
Mhm.
that, to make that next step, it should be explained. Notes and all that
Yeah,
stuff,
we'll get some-
explaining it.
As long as the notes are on the plan, then everybody's aware of it. And
Yeah,
it'll probably may go into the deed, or the deed's gonna reflect,
so,
Yeah.
essentially, there's a stripe along the north edge of that property that
yeah,
is appropriately designated and tied into the,
or possibly all around that little cutout there.
yeah. And then,
But nobody's gonna do anything in the back.
then essentially that has to be submitted to Wetlands Bureau as if it's a wetlands.
Sounds
permit.
like it, yeah.
And then they say, sure, you've shown that there's no
Yeah.
impact, therefore you're issued a prime wetlands permit, or the subsequent owner is.
I'm gonna find out if there's a permit process, but I'll find out.
Yeah, ENV-WT 704 notification permit.
What is it called? Say it.
ENV-WT.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's environmental-wetland
Yeah.
rule 704,
Oh, 704.
which is notification permit issuance, and it stipulates how the department issues a permit.
Okay. Yep.
And then they get back and they make sure that we're aware of it as a conservation commission, the planning board is aware of it. It is, something we don't encounter often, and it's kind of extra hoops to jump through, but I don't think it's,
Doesn't seem too bad.
really a game changer here, it's just
No.
something that needs to be noted.
Mhm.
Art, do you have that number? Remember the first number he gave? Do you have that? Like the main?
The the state law for it.
It's in the 700 section, it's easy to find.
It's RSA 482, -A:15.
And the ENV-WT.
That's what I just,
Yeah,
I just gave, the 700 rule citation.
Yep, 704.
Yeah. So I'll have a note to Craig on that,
Okay.
and Chip, you'll do a little research and craft and make sure that what goes forward is, not gonna get someone in trouble acting
Right.
on it eventually.
Yep.
Any other concerns, comments from the commission? And now that I'm properly oriented, I did misspeak, so let me correct the record. That, I think you said it's a brook or something, that flows to the north, and it's actually towards the west that, the back of the lots are located. I had assumed north was to the top of the map, and
Yeah.
got turned around. Nah, I hit out that way.
Yeah.
695, 690, 680, so
Yeah.
yeah, we're
It's flowing towards, to the north, yeah.
yeah.
So other than that, this looks like you don't have any other issues, no wetlands permits, nothing like that.
No.
Pretty straightforward.
Good. We're good?
Yep.
Okay.
Four nice big lots.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, thank you.
you.
Good night.
Take care. Imagine that. Actually started with number 1. And Jen, hopefully, next month I can get back to at the top of the list, having our minutes review and approval. Unfortunately, I didn't catch them in my, my email until just now, so I haven't even looked at them. I apologize for that.
And there's a lot,
Yeah,
so
yeah, so there'll be some
you
catching
need
up
an
to do.
hour for that.
In fact,
Sure.
I'm not even sure whether I forwarded them yet, so make sure to forward them. All right, number 2, we have a lot line adjustment. 204, 206, Dustin Tavern Road. There we go. This is a plan prepared by Art. So it's Route 77 across from Oak Hill Road. Super long, super skinny. Purpose of the plan is to annex parcel A from 411-122 to 411/122-2. So we're just showing we're not showing the extent. No, there isn't any extent. That is the property line. Because how is, I guess after the fact, 122.2 becomes
Looks like they're buying all that land
16.64.
around.
And their driveway is a shared driveway, is that what I understand? After lot line adjustment, lot 411/122 becomes 10 acres. And 411/122-2 becomes 16.64 acres. Nicely bounded. Oh, there, currently that's a 2.7 acre lot.
This one's that again, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I'd go for no comment on that one.
Looks like it. Okay. back a little horse trading. Let's see what Frank's up to. Next one is lot line adjustment, Frank and Jennifer Ferrante in town of Weare. Oh, okay. Map 402, lots 31 and 32 on Pine Hill Road, Old Hammerhead in town right away. I guess this is something along the road. One artwork done. Purpose of the plan is to annex parcel A from Pine Hill Road right away to 40231. Parcel B to 402/32.
We'll just get rid of the other.
Getting rid of the no longer pertinent hammerhead. Wonder who represents the town of Weare in that.
First select one, right?
Seems to make sense.
Another no comment?
Another no count.
Is that all I write? No comment?
Pardon?
Yeah.
Yeah, as in, I'll send a note to Craig saying we had a look and we had no comment. Not expressing any concerns. And the last planning board item we have is site plan review for HKW Properties, 55 North Stark Highway, map 203, lot 26, commercial use in a village district. Site plan created by GSI. Note, site plan details derived from septic plan dated 2002. Soil types, location of structures and features are from satellite imagery.
So they're missing the wetland delineation for this, that's required in this situation. Not sure if that was recommended either.
Oh, okay, now I know where we are. This is a big red barn. It's heading down to the ball field. Map 203, lot 26 is 2.26 acres. 3-story residence. Parking spaces, dumpster, 1-story garage, fire pond.
Units of jurisdictional wetland there, I mean, you gotta have it, you gotta show it, don't you, have to have it delineated and say.
Yeah, when we see something saying limits of jurisdictional wetland, we'd like to know how that's arrived by. No indication that I see of a soil scientist or wetland scientist involvement.
What's the purpose of us reviewing this?
So many times on these site plans, we don't know the purpose.
Doesn't say.
No.
Didn't it say commercial building?
Yeah, well, Chip said on his notes, commercial use in a village district.
So, yeah, I mean, they got all kinds of issues with this one.
So number one, what is the purpose of the site plan? Number two, how were the limits of jurisdictional wetland arrived at? Number three, who delineated the wetland?
Buffers.
4, show 25-foot wetland buffer,
You need the setback too, right?
50-foot wetland setback.
Are they on the sewer system down there? Sure about that?
No.
I don't know.
They're close. Cause it goes over to Chuck's, right, like that's where the town's gonna sewer with it, for the dogs, just the train, I don't know if they still do. Remember
But to
out
the
there
field, the field down on East Road
Yeah,
is where the leach field is.
yeah. Some pipe must go, I'm trying to think, Quaker's after that, right, somewhere if there's a line coming from that direction, or not.
I can't remember how far.
Well, Quakers
it
are,
went there.
Quakers are good, I don't know, third of a mile further north from East Road.
Yeah. So, in this case, would they need to show wells and effluent disposal, I mean, septic, so.
Well, yeah, in showing the new well, it's as if there's on-site septic, but there's
Well,
no,
it's a concrete, where do you see the new one?
well, 100-foot protective radius. Most of the time it's 75, I thought.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because it's commercial.
Commercial in that rental is considered commercial? I mean, it's just 3-story residence. Wonder if the whole reason for this is change from residence to some other type of use.
Yeah, what did it say again on that? Something in the village district?
Commercial use in a village district.
Right.
So one could guess it's a change from residential to commercial use.
Yeah.
Because,
I don't think.
I mean, rental for occupation is not considered a commercial use, is it?
I think it's already a commercial.
Yeah, weren't there some businesses, was there a gun shop in there at one time?
I thought that was over here.
It's right here. That's who's in there.
Huh.
And, nothing more than hearsay, just adding on to the same facility. You know, that it's not adding on the same building. That was the old craft shop, I think, right? And it's now geotech. Very well.
Confused with what building we're at.
If unless I'm mistaken.
Oh, there was an
it's
armorer
still
who was
solar.
over in this one for a little bit.
Oh,
And this is a driveway sort of cut off between
Yeah.
114 and
Yeah.
Quaker.
Quaker. The old George Hoyt house. right directly across from the big red mat.
Oh, all right.
And so, to make an addition, there needs to, or zoning would say you have to have a site plan. This is a site plan, maybe?
That's why you get paid the big bucks.
Still looking for those. Alright.
Are we missing anything else on that thing? So we've got purpose, wetland delineation, buffers, setback. Essentially wetland stamp, I mean.
Yeah, sort of two. That sounds like it.
So which one was it? This one here, though? It's this one. I was thinking it was
Yeah,
this one.
that
Yeah,
one.
it's that one there. I got it.
Why does the plan say it's a residence if it's not a residence? If it's in a residential district, it's a residence?
Alright, so it's in the village district. Looks like it might be a little wetter right there.
Alright, so we got some comments on that one, I'll send along. Thanks for letting me type them up so they will actually go. And, anything else? I'll just let that one fly. Alright, email to Craig. I still need to email Craig on the first one. Alright, jumping over to Wetlands Bureau items. We have a permit by notification that came in, that comes our way. And I'm not sure that we've seen a permit by notification to this point. Project description. The proposed project is a construction of a sauna attached to an existing gazebo. The combined structure is located within a 20 foot to 50 foot setback distance from the shoreline of Lake Horace. According to the regulations, 1.5 times the 245 foot shoreline of the property, or 367.5 square feet, is the maximum allowable total square feet of covered structures within the setback. The existing gazebo is 150 square feet. The proposed sauna is 203 square feet. Total square footage of structure in the setback is 353 square feet. Sauna will contain a shower and sink, both of which will be drained into a gray water filter pit. What the heck is a gray water filter pit? Through a 4 foot long perforated pipe placed horizontally a foot below the surface. The filter pit will be 6 feet long by 3 feet wide by 4 feet deep and will be filled with coarse sand. The sauna will be supported by, by 12-inch diameter, 5 foot deep sauna tube piers. The floor elevation will be the same level as the existing gazebo. I was thinking sauna like a business. This is someone's deck where they want to throw a hot tub. Okay. I had a total misconception here. Sauna will be supported by 12-inch diameter, 5 foot deep sauna tubes. The floor elevation will be at the same level as the existing gazebo. Cold water supply will come from the existing house. Sauna will use materials similar to the exterior of the gazebo. Construction is anticipated to take 2 months. Sorry, folks, I don't usually catch them here, so. No, okay. That comes up later. All right. So applicant information. Authorized agent information, whatever that is. Conditions and signature. All right, there is a number 12 Conservation Commission signature required for 10-day processing only. Conservation Commission is not required to sign. Conservation Commission signs this statement if the applicant is seeking the permit by notification form to be processed within 10 days. If the Conservation Commission does not sign this statement for any reason, the applicant is not eligible for 10-day processing, but the permit by notification will be processed within 25 days.
Already up on the 25 days.
So, does this mean Wetlands Bureau doesn't look at this at all? It just gets filed?
Who wrote up the permit?
correction notes are from Sweat Associates of Putney Road in Bow. So I don't know how these permits by notification work.
They had to have actually, anybody can do it, but we always hire someone.
Mm-hmm. I thought the days of gray water disposal were, sanctioned gray water disposal were behind us. Are we allowed to dig a pit, burn a hole, and drain a sauna to?
You know, I was just looking at the, interesting enough, kind of unrelated but related, you can still build a Kirby in New Hampshire legally. We were looking to put one in that had actual tank,
Mhm.
but you can still do one without a tank.
What if you ran water to it for a sink?
No.
Right.
It's not Kirby, definitely.
So this, you run water from your portable supply to this, and I think including the sink, it just catches me as odd. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, if
What else would you, how would you empty it, I guess? Empty septic system, that would flood the heck out of it.
Will they do empty the tub in it?
yes,
What do most people do, just dump it in
I
their yards
have
for them?
no idea.
If you drain a pool, you dump it in your yard.
Or if you're draining a pool right next to the lake, dump in the lake.
Probably. Hope nobody's looking. That's probably why it says that, you know.
Alright, permit by notification. The purpose, this is from the DES website, to protect and preserve submerged lands under tidal and fresh waters and its wetlands, both salt and fresh water, from unregulated alteration that would adversely affect the natural ability of wetlands to absorb floodwaters, treat stormwater, and recharge groundwater supplies, impact fish and wildlife of significant value, and depreciate or obstruct the commerce, recreation, or the aesthetic enjoyment of the public. Applies to minimum impact projects qualifying for permit by notification. EN-WT 506, permit by notification. Processing time, if the Municipal Conservation Commission intends to investigate your notification, the processing time is 25 days from the clerk's signature. If the Municipal Conservation Commission waives its right to investigate by signing the notification, it's 10 days. 5 years. Term is 5 years. Permit by notification is a streamlined permitting process for certain minimum impact projects that propose impacts to resources protected under the dredge and fill law. The rules and process identify certain projects in wetlands or surface waters or other protected resources areas that are minimum impact if carried out according to the requirements of the rules. The intent is to save the applicant the time of waiting for a paper permit while protecting the environment and providing standards under which the minimum impact work must be accomplished. Anyone who proposes work that qualifies for the permit by notification process is required to complete the permit by notification form with attachments and submit to the DES Wetlands Bureau through the municipal clerk.
What did it say about you signing it?
I guess my read on it is if this were a no-brainer and we wanted it to move along as fast as possible, an applicant comes in here and says, I've got this issue, gotta do it within, really tight time frame, let me explain it to you, you guys sign on it, and automatically I move from being able to act on the permit application to 10 days from that date versus 25 days from the date the town clerk signs. As Steve pointed out, we're already well beyond the 10 days, so this probably isn't even requesting the signature, it's just a copy to us, kind of an FYI. And I don't know whether it's automatic or whether, it sounds like it goes, town clerk sends it to Wetlands Bureau. Presumably, Wetlands Bureau looks at it, I'm not sure. Let me volunteer to run it by somebody I know who might be more familiar with it at work tomorrow. But it doesn't look like there's anything we have to do with it. I think if we look at one of these things and we're like, absolutely, that's the wrong way to go about it, then,
Make a comment.
we make a comment to Wetlands Bureau saying, what are they doing here? I hope you're not approving that because, they're running, I don't know, they're filter backwash into the lake shore and you don't wanna do that or something to that effect.
Is that
Go ahead.
a, is the marsh across Liza a prime road? But that stops at the road or something?
I think it would be the area south of the Vicia Bridge. So I don't think that prime wetlands continue up into the lake, it's just,
Yep.
I think that's a break point on it. Alright, I think we need that probably more than that needed. Moving on to other items, I'll be processing an invoice that, was sent along from, the Fish and Game Department for Weare Conservation Camp. We have one of the two eligible, girls who's acted on it, so we'll see if the other one does also. What do you think about just trying to zero in on the trails planning schedule for a week before next conservation meeting? I think that's June 6th,
Sounds like the week before bike week.
June 7th. Alright, so I presume that June 14th, it might be rather scarce, Steve, next
Yeah.
month. Do you have availability, both of you on the 7th?
That tentatively works. I guess, during that discussion, we had, it's kind of like an idea of forum as well, so would that be a follow-on?
Yeah.
Seems like a terrible time of year now, all of a sudden that we're into. I guess it's never good though, so something right hunting, riding.
This meeting
Schedule it.
is intended for,
Directing our new contractor, answering all their questions, make sure they know what we want.
but for this board, or? it's-
No, I think it should include interested parties like Jeremy, like anybody who's actually considers him or herself part of the trail subcommittee.
You
You
know,
know,
that's,
what, yeah, that's a whole nother
Well,
issue.
I wanna get off
what-
of-
My question really was, is it a public forum or a?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we only meet in public.
Is it intended for the general public then,
Uh,
or comment?
not if we go into the forum necessarily, right?
no, it's not, it's more of an
It would
internal
seem-
planning,
it
we're
would
not
seem like it's
trying,
not the
we're
right-
trying to work with our contractor and
To figure out what.
make sure we're on the
we want.
same page, and then we'll solicit
I just hate
a lot of
to be
public
here
input.
till midnight,
No, it
with
shouldn't.
40 people
Right.
questioning things that none of us have any idea.
It will be a public meeting,
Right.
you know, posted as a special meeting, and any of the public's welcome to join us, but the intent is not to be soliciting a lot of public input, but any entity that has expressed an interest in trails, if we have a, and I say if because it just confounds me, if we have a trail subcommittee, then it would seem like folks like that, this is a time to, you know, engage with it. I know we've kind of held off, but we're moving ahead now.
So, I think we're at a point, seeing as you bring it up,
I do. Yeah.
I think we're at the point where as a matter of formality, that we should discontinue the Trails Committee as an official subcommittee of the Conservation Commission until such time that all persons who wanna be active members present themselves. We have a talk about how it's gonna be run, when it's gonna be scheduled, you know, if there's really an elected officer or not. We're talking about formality and compliance with state law as well. If they have a meeting, they have to have minutes. I don't think that's really happened.
I think we know whether we do or not if we get any response from folks for this planning meeting.
We don't even have really a list of who's actually on trails. I mean, at least I don't.
Yes, I don't have a list, we haven't had anyone other than Dave talk to us, and it's been a long time at that. The gist was, we approve members on subcommittees of this commission. So there's a whole number of steps that have never taken place.
Right, and then also I've never really seen the volunteer policy now, you know, the town, but there certainly is much more formality than there used to be back in the day, and I don't know if that applies to subcommittees or not. Guess we have to ask Naomi about that one.
I mean, we have for what it's worth, we have a trail subcommittee page on our website, on the town website. And I think that's there because when Wendy was working on the website, we were trying to, you know, establish, largely through her concerns, her initiative, we were trying to establish something. And so I think it says we've got board members of Dave Ward, Chrissy Sargent, Heather Fayer, and Christine Nace.
Okay.
And I think that's with, you know, member dates, I guess.
Yeah.
That was folks were called into the selectmen.
Okay.
There are some minutes here for June, or May, June,
2 years ago.
yeah, May 15. And there are some minutes from 2014. Apparently.
I think, you know, in light of doing this project, You gotta have some formalities to this, you know. You just can't have someone show up and say, I represent this, and you haven't had a meeting. That's all.
Then, let me kick that over to Naomi to see what, according to her records, is the status.
Yeah.
Meaning, did people meet with the selectmen and we don't know about it? Representing their interest in this trail subcommittee.
Yeah, I mean, there should
And
be
if,
able to
if
do
she
that.
does, can I have a copy of the volunteer form so I can contact these people?
Yeah.
Things like that. Certainly, it's not in keeping with our bylaws, because nobody should be on the board as they say, they're on the committee without, being approved by this commission.
Alright,
So we do have something to sort out. Frankly, I think it'd be great if we do have, people interested, but
yeah,
Probably a very good time for a fresh start.
yeah,
And if we've got people interested, I think we ought to see if they still are or not. If
yeah,
they were, are they still? And hopefully it will revive people's interest in want to get involved.
yeah, my gripe with it is, there's been, I mean, if you did wanna participate, there's been no formality to, like, we had the open space subcommittee, it met every month at X time. So if you or I wanted to help with building
And
trails,
again, let me see if it's still showing up in the town calendar. Very easy, puts one out here.
so, should have Wednesday too.
Yeah, it says first Tuesday of the month, 6:30 upstairs, so it's still showing up on town calendar. I'd have to believe that it's not actually happening.
Alright,
We made it very clear to Dave, you have meetings, public meetings, you gotta get to a minutes. And I think when we last mentioned that to him, he said, well, we haven't been meeting.
I'd like to see us request that it be taken off the calendar for right now until we get this all straightened out.
That's reasonable.
And then just request the people that are appointed as committee members to please attend this next meeting. And if they don't respond, we need to talk about it. If they have other commitments, then that's fine, and I understand that.
We've got some homework on this one. Agreed.
Yeah, good time to get organized. And then we should probably, I don't know if Dick and John were planning on joining that subcommittee. It seemed like they were, but I haven't heard from them in a couple of meetings. I don't know if their plan is. They were real keenly interested.
You're referring to...
Dick Butt and John Lawton.
Right.
Yeah. They'd probably just let them know, in case they're...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they see all the public announcements anyhow, but...
No, but thanks for reminding me on those. Right, we haven't seen Dick for a while. John was here early last year, maybe.
Yeah.
Talked about New Boston, what they're doing,
Yeah.
and how we can do better. Who else? I think who else has weighed in on that?
It was mostly indirectly coming from them. I might have talked to one or two other people, but I mean, I think it was John that was kind of behind the questions.
Probably run it by the select in the event that they won't have
Yeah,
them represented.
yeah. Be a great idea. I think in the New Boston thing, they get confused, like, you know, I mean, that, some of their roads and, you know, the rail networks and stuff, are pretty easy to use.
Yeah. Jumping back to the beginning, try to zero in on the 7th, and
Yeah, I'll try for it. What kind of night is that?
it's a Wednesday night.
Yeah. That's probably okay with me. Like 7 o'clock or?
6.
Keep cooking.
No, that was a request from Mariah to give him a earlier evening so I can get back to VT.
I thought they were excited they would just bring tents.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Why not, right? Let's stay down there, knock out some work.
Is that enough on that one? Number 4, Steve and I met with Jeremy at Farron Pond. We do need to clear the bridge, clear the span so that the beavers have dammed up doesn't become the full-time status of that. Apparently, if we can, I think Jeremy is going to talk to Benji about that. And we looked at the some of the. We basically walked up the road to public waters. Considered some of the treatment approach where a landing, where material could be landed, how it could be handled to make it so we don't have to cross over Farron Brook with material to get up to a larger landing. What else we come across? We basically decided that what Jeremy had mentioned, the idea of temporarily bridging Farron Brook where it exits the pond is something we don't want to do. So he's considering options on essentially 2 separate harvest axes that don't cross. So the east side of the pond up to one of the Jewett lots, and the west side of the pond get exited in different directions. We also discussed the need to coordinate with, actually the harvest is already being coordinated with PLC, that some of their property on the back will be harvested at the same time. So there's communications we have to keep going there, and then there's going to need to be more than the usual effort for public outreach and education before this happens, because it will change the scenery, if you will, in a fairly well visited town forest. Probably opens up the area where the current parking is next to the bridge we put in, to have a small landing in that location, so that some of the big pines will, I'm pretty sure, come down. We talked about afterwards restoring fish and game access for stocking, hoping that with proper gating we can make it so that conservation officer can access to stock the brownies or whatever they put up in the pond, or used to.
Yeah. And we talked about silvicultural systems too, and then really
Yeah.
just, what harvesting equipment, because he was thinking, whole tree chip coming straight across, shooting across that proposed bridge, and because the landing size probably doesn't facilitate whole tree chip. And then also we talked about realigning the rocks, because really where that gate is, the boundary line actually runs right through where that gate and the road to public waters was. So remember, like, realigning the rocks there.
Yeah.
So maybe end up, using the cuts and length or something else. So he was gonna get back to us, just thinking on how to deal with that. And there's some problems with low grade markets right now that are, really impacting what we can do.
general timeline is still thinking towards probably winter harvest activities. There's a fair bit of planning still to do on it. Moving on to number 5, other items. Still need to jump back to 1, but 5 was, Steve, you had some observations and concerns that you shared via email that we ought to bring into the public
Yeah.
forum.
So, there's a few different things going on. I mean, one, we haven't blazed that property yet, it's a newer acquisition, so that just needs to get done. The, remaining property owned by the Banks family has been posted, but the way that they did it gives the person that's unfamiliar with property ownership there the illusion that, they may be trespassing when they're on the right of way. Our right of way is 50 feet wide, so those trees might actually be in the right of way that have posted signs on them. So we kind of need to nail that down, and possibly put a small sign there that says public right of way, so people know that they're okay.
And that,
Is the-
about how long's that right away? I mean, that's,
It's pretty big, really long. Goes down through the fields. to
but in
gravel
the
pit,
fields, most of the fields town owned, right?
right?
So why would you have a right of way? It's a right of way next to, as in the road's on somebody else's land, even though our field's off to the side of it?
No, it's fee owned, 50 feet wide, fee owned
Okay,
by us, part of the parcel. It's that, in that picture, that's the driveway.
mm-hmm,
Could pull up the map if you wanna see it, but essentially that driveway, is 50 feet wide. That's probably because of our current zoning, for backlot having 50 feet of frontage. So that was the road that went all the way back to the gravel pit, still does. Now presumably the DPW put that gate up. Didn't really mention it to us.
The old gate,
Is that gate I had a picture of? Did I give you the picture of the gate?
You
It was a
know,
newer
yeah.
looking gate. It was one of those, looked like it came from
a cheap ag,
yeah, no.
Junkie Brown put that up.
That was there the
Yeah.
whole time?
And I closed that when we were closing up the snowmobile tracks.
It goes down into the pit. It
No.
says no trespassing per
No.
order of Weare Selectmen.
No, this would be a gate that goes,
So
it's not
this
that
is
gate, no.
okay.
That
No,
one
it's a
right
gate
there.
that goes out behind the cemetery, is what I.
No, this one here, so it goes into the pit. I don't remember that being there,
No.
so. Yeah, in any event, that's, so this bottom line there's some, couple different activities that are, as far as board of selectmen go and public works and us, we haven't managed it as one landowner and been in communication with each other. Cause at this point, I think, I guess my point in the email is, public works needs to say, and Billy, you know about the mining laws, I don't. I mean, I don't know if towns are affected by the mining laws or not, but technically that's all one parcel. It's still part of the mine,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what.
If it's under the mining, which it would be because it's crushing in there, no
Yeah.
question about it. The whole entire parcel's on there.
Is there something that says the operator of that has to post? The operator, if you have a crushing operation, you are required to let people know that, you're not looking for them to play around your equipment?
Actually, there'd have to be, it's more than that, you gotta have on there should be some signs there, official MSHA signs.
Federal, right? Mining laws?
It's federal.
Yeah. So we've inadvertently created this mess by having that all as one
Makes sense.
lot of record.
Yeah.
And I think that the town, and I don't know this, I'm mostly just guessing, the town used to sponsor MSHA training several years ago. And if that was the case, it must have meant that they were under
Mhm.
the rules. But when whoever's crushing in there is working, that's an active MSHA site. So the town should have, the site numbers and whatnot. It should all be registered with insurance.
I wonder how long that activity's supposed to go on for, cause that's where the ball field's supposed to go. Is that a short-term activity and they're just gonna be out of there, or?
It's just
They don't push
until-
very much.
Until exhausted.
Yeah, but
And we never really, like,
Yeah.
we had talked, I think with Dahlberg about, you know, designating an area, and that never really, that didn't happen as far as I recall.
right, but it's all in the, I mean, so everything's in the deed, but now the problem is you know, a bunch of novices who created this deed not realizing the implications. So do we need to go in there and subdivide now and have 2 lots of record to fix that problem? You know, 'cause it's not under an easement, so you can do that. I probably need to get the town attorney to look at it. I think we need to communicate that we need to have a discussion so that there's issues, you know, what are the implications of the mining laws, federal mining laws? They have this no trespassing sign up. How are we supposed to, you know, where is the public supposed to go? We need to blaze the outside boundary.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing we really need to straighten out with the board of selectmen is they went ahead and gave the commodity away that's under our purview. And we're still not really clear, because they gave that guy permission to manage and hay the field, which, you know, who's, alright, so if that guy's doing that for free, who's to say, like, Billy, you as a deer hunter, you know, are here, you know, go lease this thing, and we could, you know, there's all kinds of different things, or we could have someone grow a crop in there, but just that they went ahead and did that, and it's something that we manage, not them typically.
Sounds like you ought to get together with them.
Right, I
Yeah.
mean, we
Yeah,
need to
we-
come up with
yes,
saying,
yeah,
these are some
yeah,
issues,
yeah.
and we all need to talk about this. And summer's an awful time to talk about anything.
Who was the fellow that came in here and talked about that? It was a year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, we had a guy from the UNH came in, the Cooperative Extension. But did the guy doing the haying actually come in too?
No.
No, this was from,
UNH.
no, one of the, who was putting this program together?
Oh,
Big guy.
you mean when we bought it?
Since I've been here.
Because we had an agronomist come in. Were you here for that?
No, this guy is either from PLC or,
Paul
Forest
Zosher?
Society. No,
Paul's from there. Paul guy? That's
he's
Paul.
tall, heavy.
No, not him.
He came in. and
You mean,
talked
he was,
about-
he was working on the
He
purchase?
was working on the
Yeah,
purchase.
yeah, was it Brian or something?
I know that Naomi has tried contacting him. No reply.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if he moved on or
He's
something.
moved on, she kind of assumed that
Yeah.
maybe he had moved on to something else.
Yeah, I can't come up with the name, but I
There's no
remember,
plan,
yeah.
I think my take on it is, I don't think there's any plan even done yet.
Yeah, well, yeah, the baseball field plan, we don't even need to worry about that, but I mean, right now, we've got the mining implications. I mean, you know, nobody told us we were posting that and putting a gate up. I mean, clearly, you know, the banks is
Well,
putting their
it's
signs up.
probably, I mean, we're guessing here, but the way I could envision it happening, you know, Benji says, oh, wait a minute, we're doing this, we gotta do that, and so I can say, okay, do this, and put it up there and say we said so.
I mean, I browsed their minutes, though, I never
Didn't
noticed
come up,
that.
yeah.
You think they would tell us if they were saying no trespassing?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly where I trespassed to get into the property, you know, that's when I actually climbed up your hill up there, and, you know, that was a simple, easy way to get in.
So you could forward those 2 pictures along, just say we've got a problem. I think we should probably, if we have money in the conservation account, email Jeremy and ask him to give us a cost estimate anyhow, blazing that property, the external boundary. I guess we wouldn't need to vote on that or anything tonight, just probably a good thing to start thinking about.
Getting it done.
Yeah. Next time he's got lots of work lined up as it is, but next time he comes in, probably talk about it.
Right.
So you can just summarize and send a note to Naomi?
Yeah. Yep. Ryan Hotz, I think.
Oh, he's from, Forest Society. So
Right,
they were
yeah.
involved with that?
With the purchase, yeah.
So we never put an easement on it?
To get the easement on it, we would have had to have that middle part.
Whatever it was.
The
he was going
intention,
to-
I think we said, the intention is the easement will come later.
Whatever he was supposed to do hasn't happened.
But, you know, the problem is that they may not be conflicted if it's all one lot of record, if it's all impacted by the federal mining regulations, I mean, someone needs to figure that part of it out.
Yep. Those rules change often enough that you wanna know what today's rules are.
Yeah. You would think even the town's insurance would care about that activity.
Yeah, or if you're gonna consider it a transfer station.
What do they do, just bid out the crushing work? Yeah, so that could be like, if we're just using it off and on, it could go on forever.
And we,
Yeah, they're doing it's very small.
incremental work.
As far as that's really cost.
So they run that, then truck it over, pile it up over at
Yes,
the transfer.
they should do 2 or 3 or 4 years worth at once, so they would save themselves a fortune.
Yeah, or even just, yeah, I guess. Cause a normal pit, I mean, if you go and just sell what you got, you know, it'd be like, if they don't really have that ability like we do to manage forest, you know, if you can't sell it off to anybody or. Doesn't sound like as good of a deal as it was sold to me.
It's a reserve, you know, and you work through your reserve, but.
Road job or something,
No, I'm just-
more, but,
Well, when you own the trucks, I mean, so much of the price of getting your gravel to wherever it's going is the trucking. You know, you pull in, if you own your own truck and you pull into anybody's pit, it's not that expensive. Raw material, it's amazing how inexpensive it really is.
We had that aspect of the discussion, but, you know, it was a selling point for the property acquisition.
Yeah.
That, you know, was one element that was put out there to the voters, and
That was the thing I was least keen about, followed up by the fields that won't fit.
yeah, we had some discussions about that, but
Yeah.
didn't really sure. All right, I got my homework on that one.
Good stuff.
While we're talking about lands, just jump back up to number 1. Steve, had you made any progress over with the property abutting the Eastman?
Of course I did. So, called, I spoke with the fellow chairs, Mike, I think, about it, and they're not sure totally what their intentions are in terms of how much they want to sell. So, you know, we had discussion, there's no real desire to do much of a below cost. I mean,
Bargain
below-
sale.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll talk some more once they figure out, you know, because he was kind of bouncing around how much they might want to take some of the, you know, it's like it's like 23 acres involved. They were thinking maybe keep some of that with the house, and then kind of by the time he threw out like a, you know, a number, so that it just gets to be less of a attractive project for us. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So they need to think about it. It's a personal decision and get back to us. You know, so good conversation.
Let the ball squarely in Mike's court.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give them a call back, whatever, talk to them, but yeah, they just need to figure out what they wanna do. But one thing that I have noticed, I just wanted to show everybody, is, fairly close to, Toby Hill, one parcel away. There is a, this thing right there is showing up on the Badger Bridge Road. It's 20 acres, and it's Yeah, see like on Google Earth, that's Toby right there. And then if you zoom down, the thing that's for sale for 20 acres is right in here. So there'll just be one parcel in between them, but that's a pretty solid block of woods in there. It looks like, I'm guessing, let's see.
It's
like this one right there.
That's the north end of
Yeah, that's
Toby.
Toby. This is the 20 acres right there is for sale. Got a little cord or,
Mm-hmm.
anyhow, that might be worth considering too. The prices, the asking prices,
Yeah.
kind of in the range we like to name. It's listed for 57, 20 acres.
Big wetland in the middle.
There's some streams running through it.
I mean, it looks like a depression. Isn't it kind of curious looking?
So, right across from that, it'd be right in here somewhere. Looks like there's a couple, like, it looks like it's across from this road right here, right in this area. Yeah, there's something different there.
Not too far either.
Yeah, it doesn't looks like it got logged pretty heavy.
No, this one up here.
Yeah, it looks like up
Take
there.
that back, I was in the wrong spot.
There's gotta be some kind of problem with it because of that asking price. I'm not really sure what, but.
It's on Toby Hill Road.
No, it's on Abijah Bridge. I don't know. Price is, it's, they got it listed for 57,
Yeah, climbs
20 acres, 57.
climbs towards the elevation of the southwest corner.
I called and left a voicemail for, Ian McSweeney just to see if they had any, see if they had any interest or insight. I mean, it's just a little bit away from the actual marsh there, but makes some sense. I don't know what's in there.
And we're also just got contacted today about one up by Chipmunk Falls. It's actually two lots, a 5 acre and a 24 acre.
Oh, really?
And that was both. That's wrong. Oh, there we go. Alright. Looks like it would be this lot here, 24 acres.
Oh, wow.
What's the butts? The one that we got here. Loretta, and I think maybe this 5 acre one over here.
Yeah, that would really solidify the whole area, wouldn't it?
It would link a bunch of things.
Isn't that guy we've been talking to kind of on and off for a while?
Yeah, the name was kicked around as, oh, well, you wouldn't want to have to send the public through our private road. You could come up the other way, and the guy down here was apparently volunteered as, oh yeah, I'd like to cross through my lot. So yeah, it's Colombo. I think it's part of that 3 college buddies or something, and he was sort of the front man.
So, did he
So-
contact him?
Yeah.
I think that would like move to the top of the priority list.
That'd be pretty rich area. Pretty rich area. There is, tying into number 6 here, there's another derelict shack or a couple shacks in the woods there that would benefit from same treatment as the one down on one of the Jewett lots and the one up the falls. same sort of stuff, old, you know, I think one's got a, you know, probably a 80-something or 70-something station wagon on it, and an old camper, and, sort of stuff that, was going on when they were John Champy's neighbors.
Yeah. Give you a price?
No, can I forward that one for some more contact from you?
Yeah. Is someone you get hold of on the phone or email?
He emailed, actually, I think he, well, that's probably another problem. I think he emailed our, commission email,
I didn't see it.
so I know we sometimes have trouble with that, but,
Oh, just come in that there.
yeah, 3:30 today. Um, I'm wondering if the commission has any interest in purchasing to add to that conservation piece. So I got a phone number. I know the area well. It's spitting distance from my house.
So where did this, which one is it? I don't see it. Didn't come in.
3:33.
Oh, right there, Steve Colombo, yeah. Okay. Want to give a call?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Do you have any direct, shared lot lines with that one?
No.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Certainly an area we've been interested in for, well, better part of a decade now, if not more.
Yeah, it's been pretty clearly identified for a long time.
Do you think there's any, to remove structures, take some equipment, or take some manpower, probably takes a bunch of disposal? Yeah, we talked out at Farron about, you know, what to do with the stuff on the Hewitt lot, and, you know, do we enlist some help just to get the old vehicles out and debris, and, do we use some funds basically to clean up some property? And I got to think about it, it's like, well, is that something our DPW could do?
All the stuff on the Jewett lot.
I never saw that. Jeff's the one who's been out and seen that.
At some point, you get to where things that are abandoned in the woods are kind of interested in leaving. You know, ecological resource, but depends on what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, something like the cabins at Chipmunk Falls, you know, we just gotta remember to go in there and torch that.
But there's also a pile of cabinetry and old tables and stuff, laminated desktop junk that's piled up next to it. It's gonna take another decade for it to naturally turn into, you know, a little solid waste plus.
But if you can get a tractor and keep pushing in on itself, like a backhoe or something while you're burning it.
Burn something, wouldn't it be a great exercise for volunteer firefighters and, you know,
Yeah, I mean, they like them. I don't even know how much they do that anymore,
I don't
but
know. Well, it's something that's not going away in any hurry. So we have 2 on existing properties that we know about, and I don't think either one's old enough to be considered of, you know, archaeological significance. And we're talking post-70s.
oh, the one up on Farron as well.
That's my understanding.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's, you know, 30s vintage tractor stuff up
Right,
there. It
right.
sounded like,
Right.
you know, late 70s, 80s.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna get up there and take a look at it, I guess.
So keep that on a simmer. If we got any ideas, we got any ideas. You know, at some point, do we get aggressive at it? Do we need to commit resources, or can we do it with a volunteer effort? Do we
Can you
leave?
drive anything to it?
Yeah.
I don't think you can get a 10-wheeler up to that cabin at Chipmunk Falls.
I'm not dinner with everybody. You could get a backhoe in there. That's something.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as getting debris out.
That'd be tough. Yeah.
Is there any issue with burning cabinets?
Yeah. If you go and talk to the Air Resources Division at the place I work, they would say, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's gotta be logs. It's gotta be naturally formed. They probably even object to, spruce 2x4s, because they're not. They've been manufactured to that.
I don't think so. I think clean lumber's alright.
Should be, but so enough on that one. Speaking of enhancing conservation properties, Bill, could you address 7 and 8?
Oh, yeah. Eastman. Conservation Forest Eagle Scout project. I'm very sorry I didn't give you guys a report, and I went in that with, Eamon and
Yep.
Dad. Nice kid, he's a twin to the one down at, the Woods family.
The kiosk there.
The kiosk, yeah, and he had a couple little things he had to do to finish it up, and they were gonna do that along with the school vacation week. Yeah, nice map,
Where's it located? I'm not.
just as you got the big rock,
Oh, okay, all right. So it's up by Pine Hill Road.
and it's right, just a few feet in past the
Nice,
big rock, on the
okay.
right hand side. And I did take pictures of it, and I'll forward it to you, I forgot all about it. And then and I did sign his paperwork, and we had 3 different sheets to sign, and, I assume that it all went okay, because I haven't heard anything back from him.
Thank you for doing that.
The Wood Family Forest Gate, the gate is back straight as I could get it. I couldn't put the reinforcement the whole length, because it had done in it so bad, but we did reinforce it pretty significantly right in the center. And I had sent out an email, and it seemed like yellow was the consensus on the color. And I've got a tough couple more weeks ahead of me on some personal things, and then I'll go in and get that painted.
Thank you. What about the tree over the kiosk and stuff like that?
Oh, we
Still
did.
You did that, great. Thanks.
That kiosk, they busted the glass or plastic or whatever.
Oh, they did?
Pretty significant.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
I guess that was just probably within the last few months.
I think it happened while that kid was going down measuring. I think he said that it happened in that time.
Yeah.
I don't know what is right or wrong there, but that's grown in. You can drive out to that kiosk, but you gotta scratch your car to get there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's all going in now?
Yeah. No big deal. You know, a bush hog would take it down, or, some very short order of trimming, but I almost wonder if it's so secluded that folks would feel very safe when they walk in.
That's always a problem, you pull it back, you're off the conservation property, you're, subject to yourself to whatever the town wants to do on the ball field on the backside eventually, and then you get knocked out of the way. And we talked about, could we bring it forward?
Well, I just wonder if
Yeah.
the growth
Maybe,
makes you feel pretty secure that you're, by yourself.
it does,
Open up.
kind of closes in as you get in there.
You could see from the ball field, you like that.
Yeah.
So should we flag it and like just get Gary to get on there and brush hog
I
it?
think it's still small enough, you could do it.
Just give him, you wanna give him a call?
Garrett, yeah.
Yeah, but just, I'd throw, you know, like up to, the bigger project, $500 worth added, or
I don't-
$300.
Yeah, I
He's
think-
not very expensive.
Why don't I just have him go look at it and tell us?
Well, then he could just go do it in the meantime, though, if he's looking for
Yep.
something to do, if we vote on it now.
Yep.
Why don't we just vote on, you know, up to $300 to brush hog at the, wood forest gate from conservation.
Do we have a second on the motion?
I'll second that.
Did you say brush hog?
Yep, brush
Okay,
hog,
I'm just making,
yeah.
Now, that-
Think of as a mower for small trees.
okay.
It just chops them down and,
brush is well before you get to the kiosk.
Yeah.
You know, it's out, as you're driving in, just as you clear the parking lot for the tractor trailers, the,
okay.
storage trailers. Next 75 yards or so, where it's rushy.
I would just tell the town administrator that we plan on doing it, cause it, you know, it's kinda like overlapping jurisdictions there.
Yep. I'll locate that person too.
You can handle that, right?
It was $300 from the,
Conservation account.
Thank you, Jen, that's a good point, I usually catch it.
I said that.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it, sorry.
The Town of Weare Conservation Fund is, it's a longhand title.
Short is conservation account.
Any further discussion on the motion at hand? There being none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Okay. I'm just gonna zoom in on that, ball field. That's a ball field. So which area are you thinking here? Is it kind of along the sides here, or is it this stuff?
No,
that you're thinking about?
it's, this is the road,
I think the kiosk is over here. Yeah.
one of the trailers right there.
You're right, hold on, no, they're there. They're
Down
here.
there. Yeah, it's right here. It opens up nicely out by the kiosk. Or am I, what's this line I'm looking at, is that the old road, or
I guess so, yeah.
is it almost? You think the kiosk is right?
I think it might be as far back as this here, yeah.
This is the brushy area. It's
Yeah.
all little pines.
Along the edges here.
Yep.
Yeah, just knock it back.
So it's beyond this, I don't know, access way for the ball field construction. Probably what that was.
I think that's actually the snowmobile track.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah, and it's from just before that to just after.
yeah, no.
If that's beyond what Gary can deal with, you might be able to get Benji to get on with that
You know,
masticator.
I was thinking that you might be able to go in and just looking at Joe or two.
Either one of them, yeah.
Yep.
Either one.
Yep.
At least with that boat, you can just handle it.
Thanks, Bill. Anybody have anything else?
How about the minutes from the last meeting? You know those?
We spoke about those at the beginning of this meeting. No, we don't. Because I overlooked them for a month. Well, not quite a month.
There.
So-
Out, but
I go back there. Jen got them to me, and I didn't realize it until today. It's been that way. On April 21st. And let me forward them.
While they posted? Yeah.
No, I can't even do that.
no, it's just a draft.
Alright, what? Oh.
So when Jen gave them to you, do you give them to, who do they go to now? Do they go to Mary or do they go to?
Go to Mary to get on the website, go to Maureen to get in the clerk's records.
Okay.
With the planning board, I usually give them to Chip and then Chip passes them along, so I wasn't sure how you guys,
Well, he's never done that for us.
No.
The prior occupant there did a fair bit of that, but,
So the draft, we should probably just have that sent directly. Who's the actual real compliance person, Maureen?
Maureen, yeah.
Yes, I mean, within the 5 days, that should probably go right to Maureen.
and she reads them over?
No, just, that meets the law, that's where they're on file.
Gotcha.
She just keeps a copy, doesn't look at them.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But, that would save me the embarrassment of saying, oops, I didn't do it again.
It's like when the draft's done, can we just have some sort of conservation of Maureen every time?
Yeah, if we're all getting emails off of the conservation,
Working for me.
you're getting those, Bill?
I think so.
Okay.
So send it to,
Conservation@weare.nh.gov. And that catches all of us. And then also to, I guess it's maureen.bilodeau@weare.nh.gov. But double check on that one.
so, I'm sorry, it's conservation,
At weare.nh.gov.
I can do that.
All right.
Let me send you a different copy.
Of the prior one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll send it when I get home.
Then I will, I'll belay this email before I send it.
Alright, so we're gonna defer going over those.
Oh, yes, we are. That was a long meeting,
Yeah.
and, first time around, we need to
It's 8
help
pages.
Jen out with these,
Really?
so,
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
so,
thank you for that.
yes,
And you are getting compensated for what you're doing, right?
yes,
So at least that part's working.
yes.
Good, that's critically important, I understand. Not falling on my face on that one.
You may be rivaling John.
Our
Epic.
scribe of, epic scribe of days of yesteryear, John Champy was one of our members, the last, we'll call him the last secretary, because he really created quite a almost poetic, retelling of our meetings.
That's
And,
great.
they were
He had
pretty impressive,
He
yeah.
tape recorded all the meetings, and then he'd go home and listen to everything.
Off the grid, mind you.
Yeah.
'Cause he was a guy who worked for, PSNH, but was off the grid. So I thought it was good.
Oh, my gosh.
So, thank you, you'll send that
Yes,
to conservation, and I don't mind you putting my home email on that too, but yeah, conservation@weare.nh.gov gets to all our members.
yeah, no, I'd rather do that. And Maureen, I'll get Maureen's.
Thank you.
Yeah, Maureen comes looking for us. If, we don't send her anything.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
She blames Andy though, so
Well,
it's okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's okay.
At least our administrative secretary likes my family, so we're okay, you know. So deflect the heat for me. All right, do we have that final motion?
Motion.
You have a second? It's the motion to adjourn at 9:07.
Awesome.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.